Happy Friday. After President Obama's State of the Union address this year, do you remember that there were two official Republican responses to him? I mean, actually, it was only on CNN were there two different official Republican responses. You had President Obama's State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress. Then you had the official Republican response from Paul Ryan, the congressman from Wisconsin. And then you had what CNN billed as another official Republican response, a speech by Michelle Bachmann. So it was the president's address, then the Republican response, and then only on CNN, another official Tea Party Republican response from Congresswoman Bachmann. It was not actually an official response. The Republican Party was not doing two official responses. That would be insane. There was no way in which this was an official State of the Union night speech, except for the fact that CNN called it that. I'm still amazed that CNN did this. They never really apologized for it, doing it or justified it, but they did it. And in the end, they did get exactly what they deserved for doing it, which is that this is what it looked like when they aired that fake official speech that night.
Good evening. My name is Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann from Minnesota's 6th District. I want to thank the Tea Party Express and Tea Party HD for inviting me to speak this evening.
It's only airing on CNN. CNN was the only broadcast network that put this on TV. And Michelle Bachmann is not at all looking at their camera. So it seemed like that night, we didn't know why Michelle Bachmann was looking off at the wrong camera. Maybe it was just a Michelle Bachmann crazy eyes thing. Later, it turned out that the reason she wasn't looking at the CNN camera, even though CNN was billing this as an official response to the State of the Union, was because she was actually looking into a camera from something called Tea Party HD. Tea Party HD, a fake TV network for the Tea Party. Tea Party HD today was the subject of a lawsuit in Tennessee. A group of investors who collectively sunk nearly $300,000 into this scam, claiming in their filing that, quote, the alleged purpose of Tea Party HD was to be the world's first HD provider of news about the Tea Party. In reality, it was an investment scheme to defraud politically conservative-minded citizens who support the Tea Party mission. One of the people who alleges he was defrauded in this Tea Party HD TV scam, which proves it's not just Nigerian princes you have to watch out for, one of these guys was also involved in one of the other great Tea Party scams. Do you remember the for-profit $549 a ticket self-proclaimed official Tea Party national convention thing in Nashville a couple of years ago? One of the guys who was scammed in the Tea Party TV thing sued over that, too, because he said he put up $50,000 for the Sarah Palin speaking fee at that event, which is only half of what she got paid. He says he put up half Palin's $100,000 speaking fee, and he didn't end up getting whatever it was that he was promised in exchange for that money. If you are now getting confused about all of the different ways that conservative scam artists have been ripping off suckers through Tea Party branding, don't worry, I'm here to help. Tea Party HD was the wrong camera that Michelle Bachmann was staring into. That's the one that allegedly defrauded its investors, according to this lawsuit in Tennessee today. Tea Party Nation was the scam $550 a ticket for-profit convention that Sarah Palin got paid $100,000 to give a speech at. And it's Tea Party Express that does the giant vinyl-wrapped luxury bus tours. Incidentally, CNN also got in bed with those guys. CNN co-sponsored a debate with them earlier this year. Here's the scam for the bus tour guys. Tea Party Express was a bus tour launched by a Republican political consultant named Sal Russo. Sal Russo raised lots and lots of money from Tea Party supporters under the Tea Party Express banner. Money that, thanks to some careful reporting from websites like Talking Points Memo, we later found out went mostly back into old Sal Russo's pockets, specifically into the pockets of his consulting firm, Russo Marsh, and other for-profit firms affiliated with him. So raising Tea Party donations and then spending all those Tea Party donations on themselves. That's Tea Party Express. CNN sponsored a debate with those guys. What? CNN aired the Tea Party Express Michelle Bachmann staring into the wrong camera speech on State of the Union night and called it something official, and then sponsored a debate with the Tea Party Express vinyl-wrapped bus tour Give Us All Your Money organization. CNN, the most trusted name in falling for Tea Party scams and getting your audience to fall for them, too. Here's the thing, though. The big vinyl-wrapped bus scam people, the Tea Party Express people, that scam where you raise money from people who think they're donating to a cause, but they're actually just giving you money to spend on yourself, that scam is not just for the Tea Party bus tour people. That's also, roughly speaking, that's the big Newt Gingrich scam. And so that scam is the biggest news today in Republican presidential politics, because as you have probably heard by now, we are in the middle of the promised Newt Gingrich presidential surge. A new poll out today by CBS showing Newt Gingrich climbing all the way up to second place, tied with Mitt Romney. Actually, Don't Know, right down there at the bottom, is really in second place. Don't Know is now polling better than both Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich. Also, Someone Else placing fourth in this poll ahead of all the other Republican candidates. But the dynamic here at work is this. Herman Cain is now, in this poll at least, the sole national frontrunner. Be still my heart. But his numbers are softening. Herman Cain's support among women, for example, has fallen from 28% last month to 15% this month. So Herman Cain losing support among women. Duh. But interestingly, Mitt Romney losing support among men. Why is that? Actually, I have no idea why that is. But look at Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich is tied with Mitt Romney for second place in this poll. A new poll out today by Marist and McClatchy shows Gingrich alone in second place, trailing Mitt Romney by just 4 points. But overall, Newt Gingrich's poll numbers are sort of heading in an upward direction right now. I mean, they started at nil, but are pointing up. As Rick Perry has self-immolated, and as we are all watching the art project known as Herman Cain basically self-immolate as well, it's not surprising that the beleaguered Republican primary voters of this year will turn to yet another candidate begging them to please not be Mitt Romney. They've gone through this with Donald Trump now, and Michelle Bachmann, and Rick Perry, and Herman Cain. We sort of expect them to do this with everybody in the field. I mean, except for Rick Santorum. Nobody's going to vote for Rick Santorum. Come on. But the idea of a Newt Gingrich surge is almost as absurd as people, Googling Rick Santorum and saying, hey, I like what I found here. I'm going to vote for this guy. I mean, even if you know nothing else about Newt Gingrich, what is the other notable thing that's happened to Newt Gingrich since he's been running for president this year? What's the one other thing? Back in June, right? Remember? Gingrich's staff resigns. Gingrich presidential campaign implodes. Gingrich to forge ahead after campaign staff quits. Gingrich campaign staff resigns en masse. Newt Gingrich's senior staff staged a mass exodus off the good ship Newt Gingrich this summer. Why? Well, according to ABC News at the time, senior staffers demanded that Gingrich focus on pressing the flesh and fundraising, and that he stop touring the country promoting film projects with his wife. At one point, Gingrich was so focused on film premieres and book signings, one senior staffer emailed the team, quote, "We didn't sign up to be hucksters for products for sale." This was sort of a bombshell when it happened. Everybody sort of thought that would be the end of Newt. But there's also the question at the time of what exactly did those staffers expect from Newt Gingrich? I mean, this is Newt Gingrich we're talking about. With Mr. Gingrich, you kind of should have known what you were getting into. You should have known, say, on December 7th of last year, otherwise known as Pearl Harbor Day, Newt Gingrich commemorating Pearl Harbor Day last year by tweeting, quote, "The 69th anniversary of the Japanese attack is a good time to remind folks of our novels, Pearl Harbor and Days of Infamy. Pearl Harbor, Schmerl Harbor, buy my book." If that didn't make it clear enough, perhaps they should have known a few weeks later when Newt Gingrich used the occasion of Christmas to launch the Gingrich Productions 12 Days of Christmas Presents list. Get all of your Christmas shopping done at gingrichproductions.com. Newt Gingrich exists in this world to sell Newt Gingrich-related products. He is a one-man book and DVD empire, and he would very much like you to please buy every single one of them. Thank you very much. Buy them in multiples. They make nice gifts. You like Pearl Harbor? We've got Pearl Harbor. You like Reagan? We've got Reagan. You like the Pope? We've got the Pope. We got lots of Pope. We take cash, checks, money orders, credit cards, debit cards, you name it. How about gold? Since Newt Gingrich left Congress 13 years ago under a cloud of fundraising ethics charges, Mr. Gingrich has essentially been very busy making himself very rich by taking conservative suckers' hard-earned money. My favorite was the Newt Gingrich fake awards scam. One of Newt's many enterprises, this one called American Solutions, would blast fax businesses, seemingly at random, and tell them they were winners of Newt Gingrich's Entrepreneur of the Year award. All this business had to do to claim its award was send American Solutions a check for $5,000. The whole Newt Inc. empire is basically kind of a fundraising scam. In 2010, that American Solutions Group raised $14.5 million. Then they turned around and they spent $13.8 million of the $14.5 they raised. What they spend all of that money on? Well, they hired vendors such as the Gingrich Group, run by a gentleman named Newt Gingrich. So Newt Gingrich is being paid to administer the Newt Gingrich fundraising empire, which spends a large amount of the money it raises on Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich is really good at raising money from people who think they are donating to a cause, when really the money raised just goes to Newt. It is the same scam as the Tea Party Express. It is a scam. It is a scam. If you get anything in the mail or in your email or on the Twitter from Newt Gingrich, check for your wallet. But now, since everybody gets a turn in the Republican primary this year, everybody except Rick Santorum, Newt Gingrich gets to be tied with Mitt Romney this week. Everybody gets a turn. And even as Mr. Gingrich luxuriates in the inevitable Newt surge, he cannot stop himself even now. He cannot stop himself even now. He cannot make himself seem less scammy even now, even in his moment in the spotlight.
I recently wrote a book called A Nation Like No Other, designed to deal with American history. We recently made a movie called A City Upon a Hill that explains the origins of American exceptionalism. I wrote a book in 2002 called Saving Lives and Saving Money, and I outlined what we could do.
Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich is running, as we all know, for the Republican nomination for president. He's also the author of the new book called The Battle of the Craters.
I should say, by the way, brief commercial. Callista couldn't be here because she's at a bookstore in Dubuque signing her new book, which is called Sweet Land of Liberty, which is for 4 to 8-year-olds.
It's not like we had to scroll through, hours of tape of Newt Gingrich talking for the last few years. We just checked the last couple of weeks. I mean, this is what he does. What's Newt Gingrich up to on the campaign trail right now? Well, yesterday his big campaign event was a book signing in Michigan. Today, even as he's opening up his big campaign headquarters in New Hampshire, there's a big shout out at the headquarters opening from Newt today. Big shout out today to his novels about the Civil War. They're available on Amazon or at the Gingrich Productions website. It is a scam. It is a scam. It is a scam. We are all looking into the wrong camera here.